Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Courtney, and in today's crystal video, it's going to be a little bit of a different one because not only am I going to be talking about the Shiva Lingam stone, but I'm also going to be sharing my Kundalini awakening experience. I couldn't really do just a crystal meeting video without explaining what happened while working with the stone. So it's kind of like a hybrid video. It's definitely going to be a little bit longer than my normal crystal meeting videos, so I hope you enjoy it. I've been hinting at this video for a while now on my channel, so I'm so excited to really just dive in with you guys. So like I said, the first half of this video will be all about the Shiva Lingam stone, and then I'm going to transfer over to my Kundalini awakening experience. Now I just want to say this can be a little eye-opening for people that are just getting into crystals. I would say this is definitely more of like an advanced, crystal resonance, understanding crystal energy. I've been, working with crystals and stones for a few years now, so this is something that's taken time for me to kind of build up this connection with crystals. I don't want this to be like weird or scare you or throw you off by any means. This is not bad. This is all good. Everything I'm about to say is good. If anything, I hope this inspires you for the possibilities that can possibly happen for you on your crystal journey. So some keywords that are related to Shiva Lingams are Kundalini activation, vitality, prana, spiritual transformation and rebirth, enlightenment, and oneness with the all. Shiva Lingams are egg-shaped stones that are formed in the Narmada River in western India. They have a crypto-crystalline quartz makeup along with other minerals that are found in the Narmada River. What is so special about these stones is that they are from the Narmada River. In Hindu culture, the Narmada River is one of the 7 holiest sites in India. So it's said that a dip into one of these holy rivers can wash away one's sins, and it truly is a remarkable river, and it is held high in significance. All right, so I'm going to show you guys my Shiva Lingam. So this is my Shiva Lingam stone. It is very small. I really feel like size doesn't matter with Shiva Lingams, but I would love to get a larger one. So I'll definitely have my eye out for that in the future. Another really cool thing about these stones and how they're formed is that villagers will go to the Narmada River once a year, gather up some stones, and they hand polish them into this shape. This shape is said to represent the male and female energies, and it is also representation of the cosmic egg, which all creation is said to emerge from. The chakras that are associated with the stone are all the chakras, and I'll get to why in just a minute. Shiva Lingams are named after the Hindu god Shiva, and they resonate deeply with the earth energy, but they also resonate really strongly with water, wind, storm, and fire. The fire element of this stone is so strong that it can activate Kundalini energy and charge up the entire chakra system. They amplify the electromagnetic field of the body and stimulate the meridians. Both energetically and metaphysically, Shiva Lingams represent the healing of polarities and the unifying force of creation. Shiva Lingams stimulate the body's energetic systems. They really help healing on all levels. Shiva Lingams are used to help with impotence, infertility, and any other sexual or reproductive imbalances. Esoteric legends say that there is a field of invisible knowledge, much like the collective consciousness, in which the stored psychic energy of human belief and ritual may reside. When one can tap into that consciousness, when they're connecting with the stone, they can go and feel into that past energy. It's a pretty cool concept if you think about it. Shiva Lingams are emblems of inner transformation. Like we were talking about with that storm element, they have the potential to really break things up and cause, some change in your life, which a lot of people can become floored with spirit and they don't really know how to handle this newness. This storm element really breaks up old beliefs, old systems, to really, have a rebirth of newness coming into your life. This stone really does, move out, break up stagnant old things and really guides the way for a newness to emerge. So if you're kind of looking for a transformation, or I should say if you're ready for a transformation and you find this stone, you come across this stone comes into your life, get ready because some transformation is about to happen, and that's exactly what happened with me. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my Kundalini talk. We kind of understand the essence of what a Shiva Lingam stone is. Now we can kind of jump over to, what this Kundalini awakening is really all about. Now, I will say this is all still very new and fresh with me, so I'm still learning about Kundalini. This is very, very new. Like, this turnaround of having this video come out once I've had this experience is very fast. So just keep that in mind as, time goes on. Whenever you come back to this, I'm very new to this subject. So Kundalini, I feel like Kundalini we kind of hear a lot with yoga. Kundalini yoga is like a popular practice. You can hear it in the yoga community or the spiritual community. It just kind of gets, tossed around or said sometimes. But really, what is Kundalini? Kundalini is a Sanskrit term from ancient India that identifies the rising energy and consciousness which has been coiled at the base of the spine since birth, and it is the force of all life force energy. The symbolism of a snake or serpent is widely known and is identified with Kundalini energy because as this snake uncoils from the base of the spine, it moves up the chakras, and that's kind of the feeling of what the Kundalini energy feels like. It rises from the spine up to the crown. So now I'm basically gonna break down really what happened when I had my first moments of a Kundalini awakening, kind of realizing I was going through the awakening, my first meditations, some dreams, some just craziness that was going on. It was definitely like a new wave of like a spiritual awakening, but it was different because it was a Kundalini awakening. So I'm just going to be sharing with you guys really what happened throughout my Kundalini awakening. I'm going to try to not be talking about this too long because I can definitely go on and on about this, but so basically like my first encounter with this Kundalini energy was when I was crystal shopping, and I was not looking for the Shiva Lingam at all. I was just going with my boyfriend to a crystal shop. I was browsing, looking around, and then I saw a box of Shiva Lingams, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to like find this because I was recommended from one of my subscribers to, hey, try out a Shiva Lingam. So I made a mental note of it, and I was like, okay, if I ever go crystal shopping, I'm gonna look for it and check it out. So I had never found it. Like, I'd been looking for a couple months. So when I saw it, I instantly was like, oh yes, I can finally like figure out like what this stone is. I've never seen it or heard of it. Like, it was very new to me. So I basically just went over and I picked up the Shiva Lingam. I picked up this Shiva Lingam and I held it in my hand. And all of a sudden, for some reason, it was like everything in my mind just got quiet. And I just felt like this wave of like, almost like this going down a roller coaster, like this tingly like feeling like rising up. And I was like, what? And I kind of was like laughing, like it was joyful. It was like this blissful feeling. And I was kind of like just immediately smiling and looking around because there was other people shopping in the crystal shop. And I was like, do these people know what's going on? Like, obviously they didn't know, but I was just like giddy. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was like I instantly knew like this is why I was recommended this stone, because this stone made me feel this type of way. And this is like the most like craziest experience I've ever had with a crystal and crystal energy, because, you know, crystal energy is very subtle to me. It's not like this wave or this feeling, or it hadn't been. And instantly when I picked this up, I felt this connection. I felt different. So I knew this stone was really special. I went home. I definitely bought it. I went home. I did some more research, like a formal research. When I get a new stone, I like to look in my crystal encyclopedias. I like to look online. And I was just kind of infatuated with discovering more about what this stone was. So the next morning, I really, you know, was still like amazed. Like it was definitely like a revelation had happened. So I was like kind of obsessed with really learning as much as I could about this stone, and I discovered where it came from. I learned about the Narmada River, and I thought it was honestly so fascinating and so special. It felt like, I don't know, I felt like I could possibly be going crazy a little bit because it just felt so special to me. So, you know, I was like, you know what? I want to do a meditation with this stone. I want to meditate with this stone and see what happens. So I had my first meditation with this stone the next day. So day 2 of like working with this stone, I meditated with this stone. I like to meditate with my eyes covered. I put something on top of my eyes. I also like to listen to music, and I just so happened to pick a root chakra meditation music, which I think might have triggered something. But anyway, I, you know, was in my bedroom. I started my meditation. I was about 10 minutes in, and I was slowly getting there. But I was really just telling myself during that meditation, I was like, I'm just gonna like be. I'm just gonna let whatever happen. Like I'm here. Like I surrender to whatever I'm gonna feel. And I slowly started to feel this kind of like prickly, tingly feeling at my feet. And I was kind of like, okay, I guess I'm having some kind of sensation in my feet. And then it kind of moved slowly to like my thighs. And I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna let this happen. Like I'm not doing anything. Like I'm just sitting here meditating. And, you know, I was getting deeper and deeper, and it just really does feel like this wave is coming over you. And I was just like, I was a little scared at times because it felt so present, like it was right in front of me, like it rise to my face, and I could just feel this presence. And I was like, don't be scared, it's okay. And then all of a sudden my feet, I could feel, it felt like I was getting a cramp with both of my feet. You know when you're swimming and all of a sudden your foot cramps up? That's exactly what it felt like. And I was like trying not to freak out or anything, because this had never happened to me in a meditation before. And I was just breathing. I was like, maybe I'm thinking this. Maybe this isn't really happening. I was really tempted to take off, you know, my eye mask and look down. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like let this flow. So when I felt ready to come out of the meditation, I definitely checked my feet right away, and they were numb. They were so numb, and they felt weird. And I was like, okay, something happened. Something happened where I felt this in my body. So then I like had to go online and check other people if they've ever had an experience like this. And I kind of discovered while I was searching online that this is a thing that happens when you go through like a Kundalini yoga or a Kundalini meditation. I believe the term is called Kriya, when your body kind of sorry, there's people like exiting out of my apartment, if you can hear that. It's kind of like this feeling when you kind of tense up your body. It's uncontrollable, and it just happens when you have that Kundalini running through your chakras. So that was kind of like my first meditation with this crystal, or with this stone. And I was just holding it in my hands while I was meditating, and I felt this force go through me. So like that meditation was really like the first like full on really feeling that wave of the Kundalini energy. I know this is gonna be a super long video, I'm sorry, but that was really like what it felt like, the feeling of having Kundalini energy. So once I was like kind of aware of that, I kind of became just like infatuated with this stone. I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is crazy. And I kind of just took note how things were going moving forward. So pretty much I'm gonna talk about the first 2 weeks of what was going on with this stone. You know, I decided to have this next to my bedside. I really wanted to connect with the stone more and see what it wanted to bring me. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about a couple more things that happened, and hopefully you'll get a kick out of them. But the first thing I'm going to be talking about is a dream I had. It was probably the second or third night I had sleeping next to this stone. I was asleep, and I remember in my dream I was somewhere and there was an older man and he was talking to me, and the last thing he said to me before I woke up was the Narmada River. I woke up from my dream and I said what was said in my dream right away. And I said, the Narmada River. And I was like, why does that sound so familiar? And then I was like, oh, that's the river where the Shiva Lingam is from. So I thought that was really interesting. Like, subconsciously, I was like thinking about this, and like in my dream, an elderly man was telling me like, hey, the Narmada River. And it was just really wild. I was like, whoa. So that was just one of the first dreams I had with this stone that was really significant to me. And then pretty much the next week to 2 weeks, I just felt like something was going on. Things felt different, honestly. When you're going through any kind of spiritual awakening, you know, everyone has a different experience. But for me, what was really going on was the presence of time felt different. So the days seemed to go by a lot longer, and I kind of noticed more synchronicities and just the timing of things, like perfect timing, or just timing that pretty much was a synchronicity. So I actually have a story of a perfect timing type thing that happened. So basically I was making dinner and I was expecting an Amazon package, and I was like, you know what? I need to go check if my package is here. It's like 6 o'clock. I wonder if it's down there. And I was like, maybe I'll just go when I'm done eating dinner. So I make dinner, I eat dinner, and then I was like, okay, I guess I'll go now. Like, I guess I'll leave. I put on my shoes, open the front door, walk down the stairs, go to like the main entrance of the apartment complex, take the first step down to where the mail is, and someone was at the gate. I like literally hadn't stopped. It was like every single foot from my door was me walking down, step down, see someone's down at the gate. So I continue walking and I open the door for them. I opened the door for them and it was the Amazon lady. And I was like, oh, hi. And I was kind of like taken back. And she immediately asked me, what number are you? I gave her my apartment number. She looks down and she goes, here you go. And she hands me my package. And I was like, wow, that was perfect timing. And she was like, ha ha ha, like laughing and saying like, oh yeah, sometimes that happens. And I was like, yeah. And I grabbed my package. I walked back up to my apartment and I was like, oh my gosh, something just happened. Like, this was perfect synchronicity. What are the chances? You know, like I was thinking, when should I go get my package? I went down there. It was the perfect timing. It was just really funny and crazy that happened, basically. A lot of little things like that, just synchronicities, timing, and then I would notice numbers a lot, kind of like the time, a lot of palindrome times, like 121 or 343. I was like, this is interesting. Like, I'm noticing time a little bit differently. And then kind of like my senses kind of shifted a little bit too. So, you know, that first week, I feel like I was such in amazement of what was going on. I felt like when I was eating, you know, food, it tasted better. When I went outside, I feel like I was noticing, you know, the trees more and the beauty in being outside in nature. It was like kind of like my senses were heightened a little bit. When I was working with, you know, my crystals, I feel like I could sense the energy better. I felt like there was a stronger connection with me working with crystals, and I was loving it. I was like, this is awesome. This is so cool. I have another story I'm going to share with you guys. This was kind of like an instant manifestation. I've never had an instant manifestation happen before. And this was during the first 2 weeks of me having my awakening. I think I was at Whole Foods or something like that. And it was a Saturday night. I was alone. My boyfriend was out doing something, and it was my night to kind of just chill and hang out. And I personally like to, have a budget when I have my weekends. So I was like, okay, tonight I'm gonna have $15 for my dinner budget. I'm gonna go to Whole Foods and grab some stuff. So I went to Whole Foods, and, I was like walking. I was like, what do I want to eat? I was like, oh, this looks good. I kind of want a pastry for like a dessert. I grabbed a pastry. I went over to the deli. I got some salad. And then I remembered, oh, I need to get some kimchi. I'm out of kimchi. So I went, grabbed my kimchi. And I was like, okay, this is good. I think this is in budget. And I was like, but maybe I should get one more thing from the deli. And I was like, okay. So I went back to the deli and I saw this fried shrimp. And I was like, oh, fried shrimp sounds so good. So I get the fried shrimp. And then I noticed that the fried shrimp was kind of expensive. I think it said like $16 per pound or something like that. I don't know. And then I kind of instantly regretted getting it because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be over budget now. I was kind of bummed, and I was like, oh, whatever, like it's fine, like it doesn't matter. So then I like put the pastry back. I was like, I don't need the pastry. And I'm like waiting in line, and while I'm in line, like about to check out, I'm thinking in my head like, darn, I wish this shrimp wasn't so expensive. I wish that I didn't get it. Like maybe I shouldn't have got it. And I was like, I can't put it back. Like it's from the deli, like whatever. So I was like having these thoughts in my head, and then I go to check out. I pay. I don't even know what the price is. I like was like not even like caring. I was like, whatever. I grab my bag. I start walking out. I go in the elevator. I'm going down to my car. And I was like, I'm going to look at the receipt. Like, let's see how much it was. So I checked the receipt, and it says that the total was around $14. And I was like, wait, what? How is that possible? I look, and the shrimp that I bought, when I got it, the little sticker on it, it said $10. And I was like, oh man. On the receipt, the shrimp, it was $1. And I don't know if there was something went on when he was checking me out, or maybe the sticker on the shrimp was labeled wrong. I don't know what happened, but it felt like an instant manifestation because I was thinking, wow, I wish the shrimp wasn't so expensive. And it ended up being $1. Like it was just so crazy. It was like, I've never had anything like that happen to me before. And I was just smiling and thinking like, what is going on? Like, this is so crazy. Those were kind of like the first, 14 days kind of like getting into this new energy. And I will say like now, like post, this Kundalini high that I was having, I've definitely mellowed more out with the energy. I feel like when I do meditate with my Shiva Lingam, it's not so jarring. I feel like I'm kind of used to it. Like I'm just used to, having that energy flow through me, or I'm aware of that energy. Before I had no idea. It was all so new to me. It's kind of like when you fall in love and like you're obsessed, like you're just like, oh my God, like I just want to be with you all the time. Like that's kind of how I felt with my Shiva Lingam. I was like, I love this feeling. I love this Kundalini. It was almost like addicting, but I was like, I don't want to be addicted to this. I'm just going to like roll with it. And like when I look back at what was going on, like cosmically, like what was going on with like an astrological kind of take to it, when I got this stone, we were in, eclipse season, which a lot of magical things happen during eclipse season. A lot of amazing opportunities can happen to you. And I personally love eclipse season. Another thing that was kind of going on is we were entering into the age of Aquarius. That 1221 portal was happening in December. And that's when I was going through this Kundalini awakening. So it kind of felt like energetically, like a lot of things were going on in my life. And it felt like I was transforming. Like this was such a transformational period in my life. I feel like I will always remember this time. I really just wanted to share this video with you guys because, I don't want you guys to think like, oh, I need to get a Shiva Lingam because I want to have this transformational experience. I'm ready for an awakening. This is just more of like me telling you like, hey, this can happen when you are in alignment with your life, when you are, picking up the energy, when you're aware of this energy, when you connect with crystals, things can happen in your life that are a little unexplainable. I definitely have a new special relationship with this stone, and really this stone has shown me so much about myself. I feel like I've definitely gone through a breakthrough, and that this stone has really given me, a sense of looking into a mirror and seeing, the reflection of alignment that I'm feeling in my life currently right now. And that itself feels like the greatest gift. I feel so good right now. I feel like there is definitely a newer version of me. There's a new pursuit that I'm on. I feel like I'm becoming a better person in a sense, and I'm just really happy, and I am so just excited for the future. Alrighty guys, so that is it for my Shiva Lingam Kundalini awakening experience. This was a long one. There's definitely a lot to say. If you stuck around till the end, thank you. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you have ever worked with a Shiva Lingam stone, I would love to know if you had anything crazy happen. You don't have to have anything crazy happen, but like really, how do you feel when you work with this stone? For me, it's definitely been transformational. Maybe if you yourself have gone through a Kundalini awakening and you had some interesting like ascension symptoms, I would love to hear them in the comments. Again, this is all super new to me, working with this stone and really just becoming aware of this Kundalini energy. I'm definitely a newbie, so if you have any tips or anything, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys in my next one.